everybody, I'm Erin and I would love to welcome you to my channel, Waiting Moose. Today I am going to be talking about the Chinese science fiction novel, The Three-Body Problem. I just wrote a really long review of it today for Goodreads. And this one might be a little bit drunk, but probably not, because I've hardly touched my drink. My first drink. The Three-Body Problem. There's a lot to say about this book, but it's really hard to say some of it without giving things away. And I don't want to be like, ooh, spoilers everywhere. I'm struggling with how to review this, so I'm going to start. I've got some notes on my phone to help me get through it. So I'm going to start out by saying that I have very little knowledge of the Cultural Revolution in China. I don't know how accurate the depiction of that in this book is. I can tell you that the depiction of it in this book is terrifying. I also see shades of that happening in the Western world right now, which is also terrifying. I don't want to see people turning away from science and knowledge and art. I don't want that to be seen as the elite in society, because it certainly is not. And I know when I think of scientists, I don't think of the elite. I really don't. I think of, people in lab coats, people who are out there trying to do a job, people that got the job they did because they truly wanted to help society and make change and drive our society into new and better technologies and advancements that can help us in so many ways. What happens in the book is during the Cultural Revolution, scientists are, I can't remember what they call it. Anyway, basically they try to get scientists to repent and say that they were wrong and that science is bad. Scientists die. They kill scientists because they won't. They stand up for what they believe and they stand up for what they know. They're killed for that. Really, things go from bad to worse quite quickly. So when we join this, there's sort of a story from the past, which is how the story starts out. And it basically tells the story of this woman, or this young girl, watching her father get beat to death as part of this this cultural revolution. And her mother stands by and watches and lies to save herself, which, I can't say I wouldn't. I really can't say I wouldn't do that. But this girl watches her father get beat to death in front of her. And then she sees that he has a proper funeral and burial and that his body is taken care of. That's in the past. And then things kind of go on and we end up in the present day. And in the present day, there's a scientist who's been approached by the military and the police, and he has been asked to join this scientific society because scientists that have been joining the society have been committing suicide after joining it. So he's sent into this group as kind of a spy, basically, for the police and the government to find out what's going on in the organization and try to prevent more people from committing suicide. He's quickly swept up into the investigation, but he also has to fight romantic feelings he has for a woman from his past who is already a member of the association or of the organization. So that's tough for him. You can see that he's kind of struggling with that. He loves her. At the same time, he's not there to make friends. He's there to find out what's going on. This book doesn't fall into the rather currently popular space opera genre. It's not young adult, it's definitely adult. I found it to be a lot more hard science fiction. In fact, I didn't think that it was going to go the space direction, even though it talked a lot about physics and space and astronomy and computer science. There's a lot of science in this book. I loved science, I loved physics, I loved all of that in school, so there's a lot of it I get and I understand, and I've read Stephen Hawking's The Universe in a Nutshell. I didn't understand all of that either, but I understood enough that this book made sense to me. But I can see how some of the concepts in this might be out of reach for readers who aren't mathematically or scientifically inclined. But at the same time, I don't think that the book depends on that knowledge to get its story across. There were parts of it that I rewound so I could listen to it again because I was pretty sure I missed something, or I knew I'd missed something because, I drift off and I start thinking about my mental vacation on a beach somewhere and I don't pay attention, and then I have to rewind and go, what just happened? Wait, last time I was listening to this, last time I was paying attention, they were doing this, and now they're not. and it's completely different characters, and what just happened? But there's a lot of discussion about physics and particles and unsolved physics problems, which the three-body problem is a long-standing unsolved problem. The universe, so there is a universe that is discussed in this book, and it's the trisolar universe where there are 3 suns. So that was kind of cool because there's some real science stuff in here, and it's not just all out of someone's head. The book is a fascinating look at our culture and our society if you dig beneath those scientific covers and look at what's going on with the people and not ignore the science, but look beyond that to the people, the culture, and what's actually happening. It's also somewhat terrifying when you think about a country like China and how easy it was for the Cultural Revolution to take hold of the country and wipe out science and set that country back scientifically. It's not something I want to think about, because I do see it. I see it happening now as people turn away from experts and scientists and make their own conclusions about vaccines or doctors and naturopaths. And let's just get off the soapbox because I don't want to get into that with anyone. I do wish, though, this book made me wish that more people read books, because I really think that in a lot of cases we're starting to fall into our own heads too much. Again, you can see it happening. You don't necessarily have to read this book, but if you like hard science fiction, I absolutely recommend this because I thought it was a great book. I do think that if more people read books and read difficult books and read books that gave them another point of view or another perspective, maybe there would be different situations out there than there currently are. That's all I want to say about that. So that was my review of The Three-Body Problem. I gave it 5 stars because I just think it was an extremely refreshing read. I was surprised it came out of China. I shouldn't be, but I was somewhat surprised that it came out of China. It was very well translated, and I loved it. I listened to it on audiobook, and I don't know who the narrator was, because I do know that on Goodreads I've seen some people complain about the narrator and talk about foreign accents, and the narrator I had did not do foreign accents. There were no foreign accents. If you're looking for a science fiction book, this one is recently translated from Chinese. I think it was originally published in the mid to late 2000s. So it is relatively contemporary, and I came out of it with a lot of thoughts and a lot of things that I need to think about our culture and our society, and less about science. But it also made me want to reread Universe in a Nutshell, because there's so much information out there, and there's a lot of smart people finding it. So I am Erin, as I said before, and I thank you for watching this review. I hope you come back and watch other ones, and I will see you soon if you do. Thank you. Bye.